Hey everyone, my name's Ajak Fodiete.
My name is Kristen Case.
And welcome to the
PassionFruit Project,
where we talk about living out your passions, bearing fruit, and glorifying God. And so today we are joined by the one, the only, the singer, songwriter, dancer,
dances a little bit,
occasional TikToker, not just occasional, like pretty often TikToker.
Pretty often, yeah. I was gonna say she does
Instagrammer,
a lot of
Miss Take Me to the Ocean herself.
Ooh,
Emily Noelle.
Hey, hello. Thank you. A wonderful intro. Wow.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add like clapping noises. I've decided from this
special effects. Yeah,
awesome. That's not good.
Because I have like a clapping sample. I just didn't, I didn't think about that until today. I was like, oh yeah, add some nice sound effects in there.
Add some depth to it.
Emily, you have been up to a lot of really cool stuff lately and whatnot.
Yeah.
And, of course, like I say all these things, and like I like to gas people up and whatnot, but I would legitimately say that you're one of the most diligent people that I know who work in multiple crafts, kind of like in the sense of you're an excellent dancer as well as an excellent singer. And if I'm not mistaken, if I'm kind of following the journey correctly, you produced Take Me to the Ocean yourself.
I did, yeah.
Man, that's so crazy. I mean, I guess tell the people kind of who you are and like what you do and
Yeah.
View of who you are.
That's always a hard question because there's so much to a person. But I mean, I'm Emily Noelle for like music and singing stuff. I am an aspiring singer, songwriter, performer, whatever else comes my way, I am working on like writing and recording music and using that to like just spread some like love, positivity, and like wisdom and stuff like that. I want to use my faith. I'm also a really strong Christian, so I want to use like that to sort of fuel the kind of stuff I put out, whether it's through like dance, through videos, through music. So I feel like I've sort of found like a goal, which like was a long time coming, but finding a goal and like now I'm like really pursuing that. So it's been really cool. I'm like working on a lot of music and editing and videos. And yeah, so I've just been doing that kind of stuff. That's sort of where I'm at right now.
For sure. Yeah. And, I think Kristen's probably going to be asking most of the questions today, but I am fascinated, interested in you just like saying just really quick. When we first met, you were working with like a producer, like you had like some people you were working with and whatnot. You were still like an independent artist, but you decided within the last year, maybe I think it might have been like the beginning of the year, to transition to more becoming a DIY artist and doing all the stuff on your own. Kind of, could you just talk about why and how that transition happened?
Yeah, so I was working with a group of people most of like last year, and I would drive down to LA. We'd have like recording sessions, and it was really cool because that was my first experience like recording my own stuff, because I've like worked with a couple other people and like my mom's put out music, so I like helped her on her album a little bit, but like this was my first time stepping out and doing my own stuff. So it was like a good experience recording and working with them and figuring out what kind of sound I want. But as we progressed further and they were working towards like releasing a single for me, and I had a song ready to go and I was like excited about it. But when they started sending me like the final cut of the song, it just wasn't sounding quite right. And it wasn't like sounding like the sound that I would want to promote and to have as like my first, step out into the industry. So after a lot of like, I prayed about it. I talked to my family about it. I talked to a couple other professional people. I had them listen to it, and I ended up telling them that like wasn't working out, and I was really grateful for all the like experience and everything they'd done. So we ended on pretty good terms, and I ended up then just buying a mic and buying stuff for my room and just like getting to work. And I think I was able to do that because of the experience I had with them, and because seeing how like a song can come together. And I'd written stuff on my own, like on my guitar, and recorded little songs on my phone, but this was like the first time recording like actual music that I would want to release. And so it was a tough decision, and it definitely like I had to move forward and like really push myself to just work on my own. But in the end, I feel like the stuff that I'm putting out now is much more authentically me, and much more of like the purpose that I want to be making music for, whereas theirs was a little more about being somebody in the industry and not like representing like what I stand for more so. So it was a hard decision, but I'm very grateful for like that experience and for my ability to move on to making my own stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, no, that's really good. No, I really appreciate that, because I think sometimes we're just, and it kind of goes back to like, sometimes we want to seek that, the validation from others, and we want to, pursue this, and we want to try to, do that thing and like become that, because everyone's like, and I honestly, Emily, I really truly, I know you talking about you're like a musician, a dancer. I see you, you're an artist. You are solely an artist, and you're an artist full of authenticity and passion. So I really appreciate that so much. And actually we met on a different way, which is kind of funny, because it's really parallel to like kind of AJ kind of, and we met in the dance studio, and that was funny, because this girl was trying to she's probably like, I'm the person that will like come up to people and be like, hello, like, who are you? Like, how is it going? And she was in her zone. She's like, I want to do this. She's like, I want to dance. I want to stretch. I want to do my improv. Like, let's go. So
yeah.
Thank you, Emily, for letting me bug you.
Oh, of course. It turned out really well, made a good friend.
It was. And like, you never expect that. So I always tell people, like, even at Kalu, I'm like, just talk to that person. Like, you never know. Like, I would have never known that. And like, I didn't even know about music till way later. And It's actually funny, because interesting enough, this kind of goes with me in filmmaking. Emily also edited her Take Me to the Ocean video, which gotta say looked really fire. And editing skills, it's really impressive.
Okay, so we gotta add that to the list.
Yes, we gotta add that. So yes,
video editor, guitar player, pianist.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't expecting, because I was watching the video last night, and I'm just kind of curious about just the creative process behind that. So tell us kind of the start of Take Me to the Ocean, like how you started on that journey, kind of.
Ooh, like the actual song.
Mm-hmm.
So it was interesting, because I've been writing and recording a bunch of stuff, and I was just sort of figuring out like what I would want to put out. And my family and I were driving down to San Diego to visit my sister, and we were driving the PCH, and we were like along the ocean. And that's always like my favorite place to go. Everyone always knows, like, if I'm stressed, if I'm overwhelmed, like I go to the like beach, and I just sit on the sand, or I sit in my car, and like just whenever I can, I'll just go down there, and just, that's literally like, it's like peaceful for me. So we were driving past the ocean, and I don't know where it came from. I was just like thinking about how I find the ocean so peaceful, and how if I'm stressed, I go there. And I just started writing like notes in my phone, and like it was like a poem/song idea, which is usually how they start out. And then I was like thinking of a melody, so I just like recorded the melody on my phone, just like to remember it. And then I started looking at like beats I had saved that I had like worked on. And the one that I used, I had worked on with another guy named Riddy Man, but like he gave me like the bass for it, and then I added stuff to it and changed it up to make it like my own. But I listened to it, and it like fit the melody perfectly. I was like, wow, I didn't even know like that was even in my head. So I kept it in my notes, and I just like wrote down the beat with the note of the song. And then I went to visit my sister. I was there for like a couple days So it just like sat in my phone. And then I got home, and I think the next day I was home, I just like got my stuff out and I started recording it, and I recorded it all that night, and then I started putting it together. And in the next few days, I like added harmonies and added like ocean sounds and started like mixing it and making it sound more concise. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it was just like, it really came together really fast. And I showed my family and they all loved it. And I was like, I think I want this to be like my first song, because it's very like me, and it's just a very peaceful, calming thing, which is kind of what I want to like, the feeling I wanted to bring out as like my first thing. So yeah, it came together. I was like able to send it in and get it out. And then I knew I wanted to make a little video for it. And my brother actually, because he is like a video editor, like that was his major. So he was giving me some pointers, and he was like, if you want to make a video seem like professional with less, like all you have is your phone, he was like, the best thing you can do is like less is more. So like I was thinking a VHS type of feel, because then you can't tell it's not as good of quality of video. So I was like, okay. So my friend headed to the beach and just videos, was like, I'll just make it like a VHS, like homemade type of thing. And it worked out well. And then my brother helped me add all the lyrics and stuff. I worked with him on like the fonts and getting it all put together. And then it just, I don't know, it came out really well. And it just sort of captured the like chill, happy feel of the whole song. So I was really happy with it.
Wow, that's really cool. And I like appreciate everything you said. And I think it's just really important for like creatives, whether you're bearing fruit and your passions, is that, you were trying to get help wherever you can, and you were just trying to figure out your resources, because I think that's really important. I think it's even hard, even for me sometimes, it's really hard to ask for help. And I think because you like want to try to figure it out, or you're just like, okay, I know this part. And I love that you saved music like beats from before, because I think it's important. Like you kind of went back from your archives and was like, okay, like what can I do to make it into now? So I love that, girl. That's cool. I had no idea your brother was a video editor. Like that's really good.
Yeah. He's just out. So
nice.
His first one out. I was like, maybe he can get some business from it, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
Definitely nice
really good, like,
in the family.
I feel like it definitely represents like your personality. I feel in the song, I'm like, yeah, this is the one.
Awesome. Thank you. That was my goal. So I'm glad.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's really cool. And I was so funny because actually, like when I was looking through and I realized this, you guys, I subscribe now. So if you guys want to watch the video, you guys should subscribe because it was really good. Just saying. Some mad moves. And so
we pause, take me to the ocean.
Oh, you're gonna have a fun time going through this. So what roles has faith played a part in your life?
Okay. Like in my life in general?
You can just say it's anything related to your music, to I also know that you work with kids a lot. So it could be with working with kids, or it can even be just with school. And I know that you're a major in psychology. So all of that.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like since I grew up like a Christian and grew up with this faith, it's shaped like who I am and just how I view the world in every aspect. And so I know since I was young, just like as a job, I just want to like help people. And I looked into like being in the medical field of some kind at some point, but I realized like I wanted to do psychology because I wanted to help people like within, not just like fix their body, but like fix their spirit and like their mental health and that kind of stuff. So that's why I started going into psychology. And then I feel like it really started going into my music more. Like I always loved like worship music and singing worship, and I would help out like VBS singing worship at my church, and that was always a big part of my life. But when I lived in France for a couple months, and when I was there, I started working with this musician guy who was at the school I was at, and he like would lead worship. He was all about like using music not only to like praise God, but to just like bring people good feelings and like the feelings that God can give you. And so I started working on music with him, and we would perform like around places near the school and at the church near the school. And so I feel like that kind of, I don't know, it like reignited like my passion for music and my passion for spreading like God's word and love and his peace and wisdom through like art and stuff. And so when I came home, I just really like dove into, I started leading worship at my church. I started working with some of the kids at my church, like leading a middle school group. I joined a Bible study and going to YA more. Like it just, I was like just really ignited to work in all those aspects. And I'd always worked with kids, and I was in France working with kids. So when I came back, I started working at an elementary school. And yeah, I feel like I love working with kids. So I think having a love and patience that I've learned from like studying the way Jesus was, like, I feel like that's an important thing to then show the children, because a lot of times younger people might not be as in tune to that kind of stuff. So I think it's important to show that as like a 20-year-old, you can live like with wisdom and with peace and with a lot of boundaries, and like show that to kids because they might not see that as often. So I don't know. I feel like my faith has just made me exactly who I am, and I want to show who I am through art, through music, to kids, and in whatever else I do.
Awesome. I think I really like that. I'm glad you mentioned that too. Is actually, I totally forgot that you went to France at one point, because we did talk about this. Mm-hmm. But it was a while ago for sure, which was really crazy. My next question for you would be is, what is your favorite Bible verse that you live by?
Ooh.
I threw a tough one, I know.
No, there's definitely a lot. I'm trying to think. There was one recently that I'm supposed to share with my Bible study group, actually, but it had to do with passion, which actually works perfectly. It was, I remember, it's Acts 4:28, and it was, do whatever your hand and your purpose determined before you to be done. So I guess it's more like purpose, but there was another translation, so it's just do whatever like your purpose has been determined for you. And I think that all comes, he gives you an idea of what your purpose and your passion is, and that's through like the talents and the things you're drawn to. And so I don't know, it really motivated me to be like, okay, I feel like I kind of know where my purpose is at, shining his light through whatever I can do, through whatever talents he's given me. So yeah, definitely that verse has like been in my head recently.
You know, I can't remember what it is, but there's this one chapter, I think it's Matthew 25. No, wait, it might be Matthew 24 or so, but like where like the entire chapter is all about stewardship. And it's like the parable of the talents and like the parable of, I don't know, but like a bunch of parables that all have to do with like investing what you've been given and being effective and being fruitful with whatever's been given to you. And so like when you were talking about that verse, I was like, wow. That's so
a good one.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I think it's interesting because for you, when, you know, you were saying about talents and your calling and, you know, just, I was kind of curious because again, you have so many different like avenues. What have you been feeling lately? Just kind of with quarantine, like what has kind of God been calling you to do, and how are you doing that in your daily routine?
Yeah. I feel like at the beginning of quarantine, it was tough, like readjusting to new normals and being home all the time. But my Bible study group was on Zoom and we met once a week. And I think that really helped me to just stay in touch with like keeping up with reading his word and praying more often and just like staying on that, because it can be easy when like church is canceled, like all kinds of things are canceled. And I was just like in a constant routine of like doing work, doing school, doing everything and like keeping up with that. I needed to make sure to like keep up as much with my spiritual health. And I think at first it was definitely a struggle, but now I think I've gotten into like a good rhythm of like feeding myself through it, like making sure to be in the word and be in prayer and listen to worship music. That always just like fills me up. I was doing that this morning, but and then also to then give it back. And like I just recently started helping lead our high school group, and it's just like it's such a good way to like I feel it and then send it out. So I've been on that, and it just makes you feel more like full as well to like see people's lives changing just through like God's work in you. It's amazing.
No, I agree with that. You're like trusting in the now, and you're like, I'm going to trust now, but you're going to understand later, which I totally get that. No, I totally understand that. Like, ooh, you gave me some goosebumps. I'm like, I gotta admit, I can't see my arms, but you gave me some for sure. Like, I was like, oh, like, so thank you. I appreciate that. Also, I'm
add that
too
one
my
to the
music.
list, by the way. She's also a youth group leader, you know, in addition to middle school and college.
It's all cool.
It's God. I think that's really good because you're doing so much, and I'm kind of curious, how do you like balance it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have to have a good balance to do all of that. And so, like, kind of tell me a little bit about that, because I'm kind of curious, because it's like AJ says, there's like another thing you keep checking out to the like, and I'm like, now you just said hi. You said hi. I was like, oh, okay,
yeah,
like, cool.
I just keep adding stuff to it, but I don't know. It goes into like scheduling and just making sure like I have time for myself and time to like give back in these ways. I have like 3 days out of the week. I have like the middle school group, then I have my group, and then I have the high school group. So it's all like spread out a little bit. And then in my own time, like I was trying to make sure I didn't make like music like feel like a job, because I kept feeling like, oh, I need to work on this. Like I'm trying to work on this new song. Like I need to be spending my time working on that. But I'm trying to put it to feel like inspired, or when I feel like something motivates me or something reminds me of like a melody or something I want to do. And so it's really like in the moment, like when I'm feeling it. So that was something I was trying to make sure I like kept in my schedule, like time aside just in case it came up, but also to not feel like obligated to keep working on it, because then it starts to feel less like a passion in the moment. It feels more like a job. So that, and then, you know, just keeping dancing. But dancing is just for fun on my own all the time. That's never a schedule.
Okay. Got it. It's actually funny because me and AJ were talking about earlier, and this is something I was kind of curious about, is are you ever going to infuse dance into your next videos for your music?
I definitely plan to. Like, I've danced my whole life, so I feel like people knew me as like, she dances all the time, and not a ton of people knew I sang. And then now I like started putting out music, so there's like another group of people that know I sing and don't know I dance. So I was like, I gotta start bringing them together, especially because they're both such cool ways to express like emotion and express like art and different feelings and ideas. So I definitely have like ideas for songs I'm working on where I'm like, oh, this would be a cool dance thing, or I can envision choreography. I have like a fun, like upbeat song. I was like, oh, this could be like a really cool dance choreography thing to do. So I have that in mind when I make certain songs. So definitely for like certain songs coming up, I want to like choreograph, like make something, find some dancers, and like have a whole little video of dancing to it. So I'm excited for that, like bringing it together.
That's really impressive. Yeah, I think it's actually very fair you're saying that, because like I feel like I kind of see the division. I see a little bit of there. I kind of understand that, because I feel like I've people say, oh, Emily does music, or oh, and I'm like, oh, well, no, but I think she does dancing. I think she does both. So I think if you infuse them, that's like, I think it's more power, you know what I mean, to the message to people. So girl, keep doing it, girl. That's all I got to say. My next question would be, how are you making your dreams a reality and you're bearing your fruit with your passion?
Ooh. I mean, I guess just like getting to work and like putting it out, because like music was always something I thought about doing. And like when I was like 15, I would record little songs, think about Taylor Swift. I'm like, oh, like people do it when they're young, but I just never went for it until like I had a couple people tell me like, you should actually try, you should go on like this singing show or this and that. And I was just like, I don't know, maybe I was like shy, maybe I was scared. I just didn't want to like go audition, go on TV and stuff. And I think I wasn't ready yet at that time either. I didn't know like why I wanted to do it. It was more just like something I like to do and people do it and get famous. But now I feel like I'm much more equipped to like do it with a purpose. And I think that's helping drive the passion to want to do it more. And I had a friend tell me, they were like, if there's something that you want to do and it like keeps coming back up in your head, even though you like give it all these excuses, like that might be something you're like meant for. And I was like, that's kind of what like making music has been. Like, it's something I always do on my own, but like it kept coming back up of like, I should put out some music or I should do that. And I would always be like, but like no one will listen to it, and like all kinds of excuses. But eventually I like convinced myself, and enough people were supporting me, which was really sweet, that I was just like, okay, I'm gonna bring out covers and start recording and do all that stuff. And that led to me working with other people, which led to me recording on my own. And so I feel like that just got it going. And now I just feel like on a roll where I just want to keep putting out no matter what happens. Like if it blows up, if it doesn't, if people hate it or love it, like as long as it's like authentically me and what I want to put out. And if some people find like joy listening to it, that's all I want, you know?
I like that. I like that. I think it's good to have choose joy under the circumstances. So bringing back to that. Now, I was just curious because especially like you're putting out music in quarantine and you're going to look back at this and be like, wow, I like did that during a time when everything was like so crazy. And it was funny because AJ was looking at your TikTok earlier. It was kind of funny. And I was on Instagram.
Yes, I was.
Really funny. And anything kind of maybe to like maybe chime in talked about this is how did the distribution, how did that all work? And bring out your songs. And this is AJ's total question. Totally, he'll get the credit for that question because to me. So that
it's kind of like there's kind of like a difference between obviously anyone can record a video and put it on YouTube, but then there's something else that kind of comes with getting a song to be on streaming platforms. So for people who out there who don't know how to do that, you kind of walk through what it looks like to get a commercial release out as opposed to, say, a cover.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was lucky to have my mom who's like put music out and my dad helped her do that. So I just started asking them. I was like, how did you guys do it? And they had used CD Baby. So there's a lot of like distribution websites and people you can use. So I just went to CD Baby and I had completed the song I had already. I had worked on a cover and figured out different opinions and had it all set. And so then I went on CD Baby and I was able to like download the like artwork, download the MP3 thing and send it all in. And then I think they said I had watched a couple YouTube videos saying like give it time before because they have to approve it and you want to like promote it that it's coming out. And so I gave it like 4 weeks. I was like 4 weeks is probably good. So I sent it in, gave it 4 weeks, and it was a little confusing. I'm hoping this next time runs a little smoother because I never like received confirmation from any of them, any of the websites it was supposed to be on. But you're supposed to, like you said, release it on like everything for you. So it's really helpful. It was only like $30, I think, to just put it out on all the different platforms. And so I was just hoping that it would come out on the day that I gave it. And hopefully it runs smoother next time. But I waited until that day, and then I knew it was on Spotify and or not Spotify. I knew it was on SoundCloud and YouTube. I put it on there. And so it's like, okay, I'll just like say it's on there. And then actually I think AJ, yours was the first thing you said it was on Spotify. I was like, did it come out on Spotify? Like I didn't know if it would or not. So I was really happy that it all came out on time. So yeah, like CD Baby, stuff like that. It's really easy to use, very helpful, and it put it out on everything for me. So that stuff was nice. And then it's just like an official starting point, and then you can get verified as an artist and make your account and then customize it, add like pictures, whatever you want. So that was definitely it was like a test run. I was like, I'll release a single as like a test run, and then whatever else is to come. Now I kind of know how it works, but it was easier than I thought, so that was good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is CD Baby, is it like an annual fee, or do you pay by song?
You pay by song or album. It depends. Like you can do it for cheaper, but I think I paid more, so it would be on more platforms because I don't even know all the platforms it's on, but it's better. It was not that much more, and so I figured, and it gave me access to like advertisement stuff, so I'm like running an advertisement for the video and stuff now. It gives you like free little tries on all this stuff, so I was like, oh, I'll use it for the first single. Why not?
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah.
You might be you're like the first person I've met who uses CD Baby for their distribution. I think maybe it's because a lot of rappers use DistroKid because, you know, rappers just tend to drop more songs more often. And so DistroKid is the annual fee model. And then like I personally use I use like an independent distributor called Nectar because they're a subsidiary of like a radio show that I've loved the last few years. So I'm like, oh, okay, like
cool.
I'll support, you know, my homies, you know. I mean, they're not like they have no idea who I am, but you know.
But still, you can still support.
Yeah, but that's cool. And you made that decision because you had previous experience doing it with your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, of course, after I asked around, and a friend of mine had used a different one, but they used it for free and it went out and everything. I was like, okay, actually, there's like a lot of options. So if you're looking to produce or like put anything out, you definitely just look into it. They're all online, so it's fairly easy and straightforward.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool because I don't know nothing about this at all. Like none of that disturbing for music, all these, you're saying all these things that I'm like, nope, no idea, but I'm like learning it. So that's really, really cool. Oh, that's really cool. I'm glad that was like easier than you thought. And like, it wasn't too complicated. And I'm glad you put it on a lot of platforms too, because that way it's more accessible to people. Like,
yeah,
and I'm glad that it wasn't like so much of a difference because sometimes some things, if you try to do that, it's like so much more. If you pay for this type of thing or this type of advertisement or this type of algorithm or something. So I think that was really, really cool. Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, good job with the question, AJ. Thank you for telling me it. So my would be, what advice do you have for creatives that would want to pursue this and or getting a job working with your passions?
Ooh. That's a good one. I would say like if you're looking to pursue like some sort of art thing or whatever your passion is, like make sure you know why you want to pursue it and like what you want to put into it and how you want it to come out. Like just know what you want it to be like beforehand, or at least an idea, and then just go for it. Like put out stuff. And that's what somebody told me about, like putting out covers just to start out with. I was like, okay, I'll just start putting out whatever I have, and not just like anything, but you know, like put out more and not just keep it all in your like photos or something. So I just started putting them out, and that got me in contact with a lot of people who wanted to work with me or encouraged me to put out more stuff. And it's just like you don't want to end up not doing it and sitting there like, and maybe it will happen, maybe not. Like, it's better to just try it and just go for it. So definitely just go for it. And yeah, I would say like go for it and find your reason why. Like if that's your purpose that you feel like, just doing it so you don't get easily swayed, because there's a lot of people that might try to influence you once you're like in the world a little. So as long as you know why you're doing it, I feel like you can hold strong to that.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
We've gotten a little bit from you. You know, we've gotten a single, we've gotten some covers and whatnot. Like, what's on the
next?
horizon? What's
like
the future?
like it's like always like the what's next? Like, what's the future? Like, you just had your first single come out, and you're just like, whoa, okay. So, like, people are probably like the high. You have like the high of it all because everyone's like, I love the song, and I putting it out. So kind of what are you doing? Emily, Noelle.
Wait. First, I have a question. Do you ever get those like thirsty DMs or whatnot? People are like, yo, we need to collab. You got to let me hop on a track.
I definitely got a good amount of those. A lot of people saying like they wanted me to check out your beats or check out different stuff, or people saying like, hey, if you pay me, I'll put you on my Spotify playlist. But I don't know about those. Some of them are scams. So I checked out a couple, but yeah, definitely got a lot of DMs about like collabing, doing all kinds of stuff. And I'll like give them a chance. I'll listen to it. But at the moment, I like just want to work on like my stuff. And like eventually I'm sure I'll be down to collab and have people feature. But for the moment, I'm like, let me get my stuff out, like what I have going. And then we'll see who I can work with. So yeah, that was definitely interesting. I didn't expect so many people to start reaching out. I was like, oh wow. Don't even have like a lot going on, but okay.
Oh yeah. It's quite
cool.
Quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but what's next, Noelle?
I'm working on putting together an album. It was originally going to be an EP because I was like, oh, I'll put a couple songs together. But as I've been working on more and more songs, I have like 20 something right now, and I've got to like, they're not done. They're just like a bunch of ideas. Some of them are done. So I'm going to like figure it out, put them in a good order, and like put out an album hopefully by the end of the year. And then maybe like 2 or 3 of them will have a video. So I'm just like enjoying making music and making videos. So like I definitely have a lot of like ideas, and I'm hoping to get them all out, at least get the album out by the end of the year. That's my goal right now. So I'm working on a lot of different songs, trying to get different sounds in there, because there's a lot of like chill ones. There's like a couple sad ones. There's ones that are like more upbeat. So like trying to figure out the balance for an album. But I'm definitely excited. It's coming together.
Whoop, whoop. And you hear it first.
You heard it here first, folks.
On the PassionFruit Project. It's an album. I'm expecting to help promote that. No,
I would take any help.
Sure, like just that's what's up. I'm telling you, like I honestly, I think AJ and I both can attest to this. Maybe I will definitely test this myself. So if AJ wants to just himself out of the thing for a second, is that you've heard it, just I think everything like what you're doing, and AJ all about, we've talked this before about transferable skills. You definitely have transferred into so many different aspects of ways that I don't even think I fully have comprehended yet myself. And I gotta say is that you really, you're letting God help choose what you are wanting to do. And I think that's really important, because I think sometimes like you said, it's about a job. It's this, I know I've felt days of like, should I be doing this? And so I think it's really good that you're letting God kind of do the calling for you. Mm-hmm. And I think it's very relentlessly encouraged, and it's within strength. And I gotta say is I admire you like so much for that. So I wanted just to say, which is crazy. Yeah, no, of course. AJ is gonna do a lightning round. Have fun with that a little bit. You get to explain about that.
Of course. Well, before we get into the lightning round, like we kind of say like the show, it's like living out your passions, bearing fruit, glorifying God. It's like the 3 things we kind of say. But like there might be someone out there who they might be like you when you were in high school, like a young Christian creative, like they're thinking to themselves like, maybe I can do one of those things, but not all 3. Maybe I can
right
about something, but I won't be able to make money with it, or I won't be able to bear fruit. I won't be able to bring glory to God. Maybe they think they can do 2. Maybe they think, yeah, you can bear fruit and like have a living doing something that glorifies God, but you can't do something that you actually like. They're not sure if they can actually make it work. What would you kind of say to that person out there listening?
I would say just as long as you're living your life the way you feel God is like in you're living in line with his teachings and the way that Jesus taught, like it will show in whatever you put yourself into. It will show whatever art or whatever job or whatever decide to go with. And like I thought about that because I was thinking like I don't want to make exclusively like worship music because I wanted to make music that like talked about life experiences, emotions, and I would put on it, I guess. And it's worked out in a way. Like my first song's about like going to the beach, but it has a like very calming vibe to it. And they actually played it at one of the high school groups I went to, and they were like, play a song, it's not a worship song. Use this time to just reconnect with like yourself, with God, with what's going on in your life. And so they played my song and everyone spent the time just sort of like praying. And I was like, I didn't expect like that, but you know, you can use whatever you give for him. So whether it's like something specifically Christian or something specifically in a category, like if you're living out what you think God's passion is for you, like he can use it for whatever his purpose is. So just go for it. Just put out whatever you got.
That's what we love to hear.
We love that.
All right, so we got a little lightning round here. We've got 7 questions. Your goal is to answer them as fast as possible. Right now, the record. Well, we're filming these kind of out of order. But the record, technically, Kristen was able to do it in 44.1 seconds. The actual record is 41.64 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
I got stuck on a question. I had to think about it. I thought about it for a little long. I was like, that.
So once I start this timer, you just gotta just fire away and just see how it goes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
On your marks, get set. What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Mint chocolate chip.
Favorite movie?
Oh, Silver Lining Playbook.
Favorite fast food?
Chick-fil-A.
What's your spirit animal?
A monkey.
Ever broken a bone?
No.
Any plans for world domination?
No.
Would you rather have a horse-sized dog or a dog-sized horse?
A horse-sized dog.
Wow, she didn't hesitate on any of them. What in the world?
Well, hey, I love Silver Linings Playbook too. That's also one of my favorite movies. So
it's like I can't choose a favorite, but I just watched that one like 2 nights ago for like the 3rd time. So I was like, I like
it's really good. Yeah.
So you want the horse-sized dog too?
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a dog-sized horse. That's a lot of like. Imagine the poop you gotta pick up and.
Yeah.
Not about that.
Good point. Wow. So you got 32.14 seconds. Congratulations. You're now the official record holder for the lightning round.
Yes. Sweet. Yeah. So easier than I thought. I thought it was going to be like in-depth questions. I was like, all right.
Tell us the story of your salvation.
In 30 seconds.
What is your stance? I'm just kidding.
Oh, boy.
Man, well, tell people where they can find you, Emily, Noelle. Tell them where, if they want to connect with you, catch your music, etc.
Okay. Well, I post about like anything coming up on my Instagram. That's my main thing. So it's at noelle.now. Noelle, Noelle. So I'm sure you guys can like add it there. And then Spotify right now, since there's a couple Noelles, you got to look up Take Me to the Ocean Noelle, and that'll be me. That's like, it's up there. But yeah, Spotify, YouTube is also, I think it's just Noelle. Most things, TikTok, Instagram, it's noelle.now. YouTube and Spotify, it's just Noelle. So,
and it's all caps, right? All caps Noelle?
It is, yeah. And you can find it all. If you go to my Instagram, everything is linked there. So just find me on Instagram. You'll find everything.
Oh, man, that's perfect. Man, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys for having me. This was fun.
It's great getting to chop it up with you.
My first interview is Noelle.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, are you serious? We got the
first interview.
Yeah, the first exclusive interview.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Kristen's having a fangirl moment. I'm having a fangirl moment too.
I love it because it's like it's no. I'm like surprised because I thought you done interviews before because that's how natural you are.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I've talked with people, but no, I haven't done like an interview.
This is just how she is. She's just always like this.
Yeah.
But all right, y'all. Thanks for listening. My name's
Yes.
Ajax.
My name is Kristen Case.
And thank you for listening to the Passion Fruit Project, where we talk about living out your passions, bearing fruit,
Glorifying God.
all right, talk to you guys later.